So we are back with more math that looks more difficult than it is. It gives us the question with the function of population. And it asks us what the population will be in 6 years. I did this one wrong originally because I overthought it. This literally just wants us to plug the number of years into the equation they give us. So in this case, we don't even need to find derivative. We literally just have to input 6 in place of the t. Okay? So we just go through and say 30 times 60 plus 5 times 6 all squared minus 1500 times 6. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and work that across. So this right here is going to give us negative 9,000. We'd have 30. I'm going to put that in a different color. 30. Okay. So then we work that, of course. And honestly, at this point, you could just put it in your calculator right here. And it would be fine. I do like to try to give myself a few less terms. But then once you get into like exponents and weird stuff and you're just not 100% sure about it, it's better just to put it in there. Like I said before, too many parentheses is better than not enough. So in this case, you should get 234,000. I worked this wrong originally and found the derivative first. I didn't need to do that. So I did get it wrong because I overthought it. I'm guessing that the next thing it's going to ask us is to work the derivative and find out the same information. Yes, it says to find the rate of change in population in 6 years as the next part. So I'm going to show you how to work that too. Okay? So we're going to go back to our original problem. We're going to reorder it. Negative 1500 t plus 30 times 60 plus 5t all squared. Okay? We're going to bring out our constants. Okay? And then we are going to do derivatives. All right. So in this case, it helps us to go ahead and solve this first one because it's easy. So negative 1500 would be multiplied by 1 because the derivative of a variable is just going to be 1. Okay, plus 30. And this next part is just our chain rule. So I'm going to go back to using my red and blue for this part. So we would multiply it by the derivative of the entire thing, which is going to be 2 times 60 plus 5t. Times the derivative of the inside, which is just going to be 5. Okay? So we're going to multiply that out. Okay. Now in this case, our 30, our 2, and our 5 can all be multiplied. So you can just do that in your calculator. 30 times 2 and then times 5. So that would give us 300 times the inside. Okay? So then we're going to combine those. Okay, we're going to leave our negative 1500 for right now. And we're going to say plus 300 times 60 equals 18,000. And then we're going to multiply 300 times 5, which is 1500t in this case, because there is a variable in the end. Then we're going to say negative 1500 plus 18,000, which is going to give us 16,500 plus 1500t. Okay, I'm going to scroll this up just a little bit for us. All right, so at this point, we can divide this out. We can divide everything here by 1500. So we're going to have 1500 times what that divides out to be. So in this case, we know that would be t, and then 16,500 divided by 1500 is just 11. So this is where we would plug in our 6 again. So our t still equals 6. So we would say plus 6 you could just put this in your calculator. I'm going to go ahead and solve it because it is pretty easy. So 1500 times 17. And at that point, I would absolutely put it in my calculator. This one is the one that gives us 25,500. Rate of change just equals the slope or derivative. So this one should be the 25,500. And it is correct this time. Again, some of these things really just make you overthink things. Okay? In this case, we are given f of 4 and f prime of 4. Okay? I'm going ahead and erasing that previous problem, so that we have room to write down what we need to do. Okay? So in this case, it gives us h of x equals f of x squared. Okay? And it gives us our f of 4 equals 9. And our f prime of 4 equals 7. Okay? So that just means that in this case right here, it's going to be f, it's going to be f of 4 squared. Okay, so our h would also be 4, since that's what we're working with. Okay, so we can go ahead and pull that down. And this would end up being, we would do the outside. So 2 times f of 4 times f prime of 4. And then we could input that in. So it'd be 2 times 9 times 7. Which would then give us 2 times 9 is 18 times 7. And 18 times 7 is 126. That should be everything. So h prime, because we start working our prime right here, h prime should be 126. And that is in fact correct. That was a little weird to set up. We could have set it up right here, and or right here with our numbers that they gave us right here. But I didn't do that because it's helpful to see why you're setting things up the way that you are. I prefer to, in this case, do it like I did it here, so that I can see what I'm doing, so that I can just input it afterwards. Okay? Okay, now I'm going to pause the video for just another question so that I can work this one and then explain it to you guys. So I will have another video up in just a minute.